Do you know what it takes to go from being a student into a professional in the dance community? Well, let's find out. Hello, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. My name is Alisson Sandi, and we're very excited to welcome you into another brand new season where we'll be talking to couples from all over the world about their journey from being a student to a professional and then to traveling the world and being able to work pretty much anywhere. And in this first episode, we'll be talking with Pedro and Cibele, who are a couple from São José dos Campos, the same city that I came from, and they will be sharing their experience coming from students, being professionals, and now expanding their reach all over the world. Get ready to take notes and learn a lot from these two beautiful people. So, let's go. Bom dia, everyone, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. My name is Alisson, and today we have here our co-hosts, Gui Prada. Hello, Gui.
Hi, people.
Adayl.
Good to be back.
Lost.
What's up, everyone?
Just kidding, guys. Adayl Iost. And also our very, very special guests for today, Pedro and Cibele.
Hello. Thank you so much for the invite.
Thank you so much.
Right. Well, guys, it's great to be back. It's been a minute, but we are here. We are doing this again, and we're very excited to start a new season. And for this new season, we're going to be talking to amazing couples who are exploring their next phase and the next steps in their journey. Today, with Pedro and Cibele, we're going to be going deep into all of the secrets to get to where they are now. So before we get to all the secrets, can we please get an introduction from you, Pedro and Cibele?
Yes.
Yes.
First, please.
Thank you so much. So I'm Cibele from Brazil, actually my city called São José dos Campos. That is the same city that Alisson. Yes. I started my journey with ballet when I was 7 years old. And then I found Brazilian Zouk when I was 22. And since then, now I'm 27. I'm doing a lot of work with Brazilian Zouk, Lambada, and lady style with followers. And I found Pedro during this journey while I was doing my Brazilian Zouk classes. Pedro was my teacher at the time. And then we started practicing together and continuing the partnership work now.
Where did you find Pedro? Was it like on the corner of the room?
Yeah, like I was walking on the street and then I looked to my side and someone was dancing and I asked the name. So Pedro Nantes, how are you?
Let's do a partnership. No, when I
He was the teacher.
funny because
It's cool.
it's funny because when I saw Cibele, I thought by myself, oh, she has a lot of future if she keeping in dancing, you know. So, but it's funny because I had another partnership, and then
Pandemic comes.
Yes, and then we finished the partnership, and then we started after the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, we went to São Paulo, and then we did this, and then we start to growing to another next level to doing workshops, classes, and private, a lot of things. So, but by myself. My name is Pedro Nantes. I'm from São Paulo too. Yes, actually the same city, Alisson and Cibele, that's campus. Yes. So I started my journey when I was 9, so young. So I started with tango, and then I started trying another rhythms as zouk and samba. As that time we dance all the rhythms. So it's funny because now the people sing 1 or 2 or 3 rhythms, so it's a little bit different. But then this, I growing with my dance, and then we started doing these workshops in Brazil, in São Paulo, and then we started to other countries. So that's it.
Well, how long ago was that, Pedro? When did you start Zouk?
You
start all the things.
Yeah, but the Zouk I started when I was 10. Yes, I danced 1 year with tango. Yes, and then I started trying another rhythms, and then I started doing dancing. In that time, actually, Lambada start change to Zouk, but so Zouk is so neat.
And how old are you now?
Now I'm 31.
31.
Yes, 31 years old.
You guys are still so young.
Yeah. We are not that older than
Morgan.
you. I'm curious about when did you start teaching at the school that you guys met?
Actually, after São Paulo, I go to Natal, Rio Grande do Norte, and then I do my graduation, my university. It's gastronomy. So, and then I need to work with something. And then I come back to São Paulo to work with this. And then after this, I stopped to cook. I stopped to teach because I teach it with pastry. Pastry, it's about sweet things. That's it. And then I come back to dancing, and then I find Cibele, and then I start one more time work with singing, but in another level. Not only doing classes in my city or doing privates in my city. Actually, I open this brand, this space in my mind, and then I go to another countries, another cities, another level actually.
When in 2017, I was working on a dentistry clinic, and in the same street that I work at, there were that school of dance. And then I always pass like in front of this dance school and like curious about what happened inside that dance school. And I had the ballet thing and jazz dance, but I want to try something new. So one day after my work, I stopped there and asked for which rhythms they have and how the school works. And the class that is about to start right now is Brazilian Zouk, the guy said me. And I say, oh, okay, Brazilian Zouk, so let's do it. So it was my first class, was Brazilian Zouk. At the time was a teacher that is from our city, Felipe Nascimento. And when I start dancing already, I fell in love right away because it's very slow and you have a lot of freedom and head movements and all this stuff. And as I had the ballet background, it helps me a lot. So Felipe said to me, oh, you will be like a great dancer if you start in Brazilian Zouk and start learning new rhythms. And since that day, after the Brazilian Zouk class, I do forró and I do samba and I do kizomba and I try to taste everything. And the teacher gets sick in that time and the other teacher came. And this one, that is our friend Luan, he works in a cruise and he went to a cruise. Pedro was like doing the substitute teacher of this friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
So I start dancing in Pedro's classes and then we start to change a lot. In the end of the classes, we dance a little bit and, change informations. And then he had the partnership. I went to their study group and everything. And after pandemic, I said to Pedro, I want to work with this. Like, I really want to work because during pandemic, some students came to me asking for privates online, like girls. And I was like, me? Like, what do you want to learn from me? There's a lot of teachers already in the school or, And then I started like, okay, let's see it in a different way. Because in that time, I was already helping teachers during the class. So I had already this feeling of dynamic, right? Then I start teaching, but like not teaching, but I start like helping my students. And then I asked Pedro and we start this together. Like he starts to really give me the information of classes and how it works and how he worked at the time. I was like just watching his classes and everyone's classes. And then I start to study for this specific. And when we start learning Lambada in Espaço 3D, Davi told us, why you guys don't make a partnership and start coming here and, training in your city. And then let's think about it because Pedro doesn't have a partnership anymore with the last one. And then we start teaching together in São Paulo, in our city, like regular classes too. And here we are now.
And what made you guys choose Brazilian Zouk or Lambada, or did it choose you?
So I would like to add something because as I dance a long time, I always thought by myself, I feel something, I feel miss something in the Zouk. I don't know what exactly, but as I danced tango too, I felt that, oh, maybe the Zouk dancers need to connect more, understand how they change the weight, better. How do you create this embrace? Because I felt in this situation, the people need to understand how to dance in couple, how to create this knowledge, this conversation. I don't know if I'm so clear with you, but it's not
The
only,
foundations, right?
yes, not only doing steps, do movements. So I told to Sibeli this, oh, I need to feel this. We need to construct this. And all the time in my building, in my knowledge in Zouk or in my knowledge in dance terms, I try to put these foundations in Zouk and Lambada. And then in Zouk, it's funny because I think that it chose me because I had so smooth body, not so, how can I say, sharp body.
Have the
So, yes.
Oh, really, Gui?
have the same problem.
I think you're
My-
very sharp, Gui.
My sharp is so hard to get.
Yes.
Very difficult.
Yes. And then I had difficult to dance tango because I need to do this movement, so precise, but that's it. And then when I try and dance in Zouk, oh my God, my body match with this Brazilian Zouk, I love it because it's so fluid, but at the same time I can my closing brace and change their weight correctly, and then I love to match this point. And then another thing, it's funny because my first contact with Lambada, with a teacher, I thought by myself, oh my God, I never want to learn this rhythm because this rhythm, it's a rhythm that I will brace my follower, but that's okay. And then after this, I find this past 3 days, and then I will start dancing Lambada. And then I thought, oh my God, we can construct, we can build in Cibele Lambada using this concept, using my ideology in these things. And then it's funny because now the people know us as creamy Lambada or I don't know, smooth Lambada, but a lot of things can change this because the song can change, the foundations can change. I don't know. A lot of things can, how can I say, yes, change the dance.
And also the dance continuously evolves. Music
Yes.
changes, the dance changes, the community changes. So there's always something influencing us, which is something that we've spoke about before when people have that discussion. Do the teachers influence the DJs? Do the DJs influence the teachers? Does the teacher change the students or does the student change the teacher? There's so many things that are constantly surrounding us. And if you're open and if you're willing to learn from everything, then your dance and even your branding can change anytime.
Exactly. In my case, I think Brazilian Zouk chose me because when I went to that school, there's like 1,000 rhythms that I can do my first class. But Brazilian Zouk was there, like waiting for me. And yes, you're right, like this. And I remember that week will be my birthday. So I already had my first roda in Brazilian Zouk in my first Brazilian Zouk class. Then I just
Wow.
doing the basic steps, and the teacher say, "Oh, here, when is your birthday? In the week or in the month, we do a roda. So let's do this." And I was like, "What?" Like totally freaked out in that moment, but it was good. And he made a contrabalance with me, and as a ballerina, I started doing no problem. And he was like, what? I started doing a cambre, doing the contrabalance because I was so happy that time. And for me, it was special. Yes, this is your place. I felt that there was my place. And in Lambada, the first video I saw on YouTube was Jessica London. And I just felt in love right away.
Who doesn't? Who does?
Yeah, exactly. But as a follower, for me, it was very important to have this different vision of a follower dancing lambada, because the other ones that I saw, the other videos, that was more older, like old school style. I wasn't feeling comfortable to do this in my body. So when I saw Jessica, and I say, oh my God, that's something possible to do. I want to do this kind of movements. I want to have this flow. And it's funny because in IZC this year, we stayed at the same room. And I was sleeping by her side. Like, I was looking at her. Oh my God, I'm just looking to my biggest icon in Lambada. You know, like the first video I saw was from her in Yale. And when I saw this, and I went to Espaço 3D socials with dancing Brazilian Zouk, and I saw people dancing Lambada, like a few ones, not that much, but still dancing Lambada, I want to start learning that Lambada that I saw on the video. So when I watched Davi and Davila dancing Lambada, was yes, finally I found my place here to dance Lambada too. And it was very soft, very, I don't know, it was magical. And then I started learning Lambada, and gives me a lot of structure to flow on it. Like, I use my Brazilian Zouk flow in Lambada structure now, and for me it's like the perfect match. So I love them so much. I love the other rhythms, respect. But for me, it's when my heart smile. Like, when I start dancing Lambada, you start on one with me, I already do it. Yeah, and I get so happy. 5, 6, 7, like this. The rest, so for me, was the two rhythms choose me. Like, but Brazilian Zouk was like open arms for sure.
A follow-up question on that note that I think happens to a lot of us in the dance scene. As Pedro was saying, that you guys have this not necessarily great experience on the beginning when we're learning for the first time Lambada or Zouk. That is like, oh, that's not what I watch on that video. That's what I want. What do you think makes you guys want to stay on the dance?
And Brazilian Zouk and Lambada? For me, it's about to be something that people can touch.
Sorry, guys. So for us, in our philosophy, we need to show the people, show the students, show the dancer how it's possible to dance. Not only doing spins and counterbalance, blah, 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 so performatic dancing, you know? So in our philosophy, we like to do this. We teach this way, we think this way, we like to do this. And then all the time, we trying to take idea and make to be possible. Example, let's think first in the footwork, and then we growing to do the red movements. Oh, I don't know if the student had this problem in your back. For sure, it's impossible, or it's impossible to do this advanced movement, so hard movement, you know. So all the time we try to balance and make possible to the student.
Yeah. You guys are talking about accessibility, like making the dance look accessible, something that people can see and like, oh, that I can do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's funny because in San Jose has a level that so completely different level in another cities, another countries. Example, when you went to São Paulo, the people dancing so much better there because they study more, then dancing more, they have more private, they are more socials, you know, more classes. So a lot of things. So thinking this, when I student look the video, oh, look, I don't know, this couple dancing. I hear a lot of these questions. Maybe it's possible in this way. For sure, it's possible. If you're dancing a lot, if you study a lot, it's possible. But thinking this, you don't need to be this way. You need to be by yourself, you know, construct. And then we need to change this idea, to change this mind, to construct our dancing. So your dancing, because this is so important to mix. Because when this student go to another city to dance, example, São Paulo or Rio or I don't know, around the world, the student need to feel this, oh, I know how to dance another followers, another leaders, so we need to balance and this structure, what is possible, this tales in knowledge.
Mhm.
Makes sense for you?
A lot of, yeah.
Yes,
For me-
absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, it's about being in contact with the dance. In our city, there is a small city. We have like one social during the month, maybe two. So how the student can practice this if he or she doesn't go outside the city to have another experiences of socials. If you go to São Paulo, to Rio de Janeiro, you have socials Monday to Monday, There's a lot of time to practice, a lot of possibilities, a lot of options to develop your dance. And when you're from a small city or a small scene or a small community, you have to really work hard to get more information from outside or even from inside. But actually, there is something the person needs to want it, For me, it's this different. It's not like dance better or worst, but it's how much contact do you have with this dance and how much contact do you have with the learning, how much contact do you have with the practicing. So in São Paulo, for sure, you have more practice. I like to say that in São Paulo, they eat Brazilian Zouk with farofa every day. When we travel from outside like Brazil, everyone was, oh, but what Brazilian have, like why they dance different from Europeans or why is different? And we said, because we eat dance every day. When you are in Sao Paulo, you have a lot of options to go to the social, like in the afternoon, in the middle of the week, you have social, you have classes in a bunch of school dances. So there's more contact with this culture, and it's a dance from Brazil. So for us, like already there for us. So maybe this is different. How much effort you are putting on something new that is not so touchable, like in your daily life.
Yeah.
And how much effort you put on it. Yes, exactly.
But a counterpoint is, I'm talking about our city students. A counterpoint is how much energy the students here want to put to study, to grow. Oh, it's totally different in different cities. So, example, look here in this podcast. Look the title, ZoukNerds. We like to study, we like to talk about this. So it's an example because the people like to do another things, to have a social life, to go to the shopping, to do a lot of things. Here we like to study, we like to talk about, as Alisson said, here, conversation, a meeting, and put this in podcast because we are a little bit different than other students in our city because we like to talk about it.
For sure. So a little bit on that note that you guys are talking about our local scene. We sometimes have that impression that when we're a student, that we need to go to somewhere else, like the grass is greener on our neighbor's side, right? They always have a better scene than we do, and we can only get our instructions and everything from other teachers that are not from our local scene. How did you guys think it's possible for an instructor like you guys that are making now the international scene and everything to show that value to your local community? Because I know sometimes it's hard because they feel that they have you guys, quote unquote, all the time. Not anymore now that you guys are traveling a lot. But when they have you all the time, how do you manage to get that value to the students?
We don't have control about others' thoughts or actions, right?
Sure.
But something that we felt when we started the partnership is even the professionals there wasn't that happy with our partnership. And we don't get support even from the professionals there. I don't know why. Actually, I know why, but I will not tell it here. Like, it's another podcast. Yeah. But for us, we like to do regular classes. And in regular classes, we're always doing a community there. Like after the class, we hang out with our students and we eat something. That is something important. It's not just teaching. It's like to really grow a community there who is there for you because they know you as a person, not just as a teacher. So for me, it was important in that point where people can see us beyond teaching. And then when we start achieving a level, like the city was small for us and we need to grow up a little bit, and we went to São Paulo. And then in São Paulo, we look around and there is a world outside, and then we grow up a little bit. So it's like part of the process to grow up. But while you are in a small scene, like local scene, as you told, it's important to be beyond teaching, you know, for me. We have a regular classes there. I call, like, video chat them all the time because I'm not in Brazil right now. Pedro is. And, you know, start participating and playing volleyball with them the time that we are there, because they are believing in our dreams too. They are like cheerleading. Yeah, for us. So why should I care about the ones that are not valuing our work? Let's spread this good vibe that our students are giving us. But your question about to be recognized in your location, actually, like this one, we felt that besides our regular class students, okay, like just the normal people there, students, dance school and teachers, after we went out of São Paulo, in São Paulo, they were already like, oh, you guys are doing workshops around Brazil. So nice. Congratulations. But when we go outside Brazil, people get like, oh, you are in Europe. And then they start looking to us like, oh, shit. What you guys were doing was really like something real, you know? You were not kidding with the work. So we work hard, and now you are outside of Brazil. Yes. So now we paid your private because you went outside Brazil. That was I felt, you know, like now that I was abroad and now we have a schedule like going Europe and Asia and Australia and all this stuff. Now they pay our privates because we are international teachers besides our regular students. Okay. But I don't know what happened. Yeah. I just really don't know what happened. Why people, I don't pay a private with my local teacher, but I paid even more money when a teacher from outside come here in my city and I want to try something with them. I don't know why.
I think it's a tale that is as old as time, because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was at Jaime's studio in Rio, and Jaime would complain almost on a regular basis. You don't recognize what you have. You don't come to classes, you don't recognize what you have, because us that were there, Jaime, a lot of us would not go to his class, but only when you are away that you realize, oh my God, I knew what I had. But I know a lot of people from my time didn't know what they had, you know, like in terms of how much opportunity there is to learn. And the same thing happens. Like when I was about to leave DC, when I told them that I was leaving, I got people that were there with me for 5 years and never took a private. On the last month, they wanted a package of 20 hours. Yeah. So these things happen, you know, I think. But what I'm really curious to hear from you guys is when I started teaching in 2017, I made into the market in a very specific way. I got into the market by teaching connection, by teaching embrace, social dancing and everything like that. So I didn't need to perform, I didn't need to do choreographies, I didn't need to do any of these things. But there was a lot of people in the US wanting to make it. And they really wanted to make it. They really wanted to be invited for things. They wanted to go to the things. So there was a lot of desire to start teaching, to be invited. And years ago, there was like a few routes to do that. Like, for example, the Dutch Zouk Congress. Being invited to teach the Dutch Zouk Congress was a big deal, because it was a big window for people to see you. So I'm very curious about how did you guys, or what did you guys decide to do to make it? For example, did you guys have a plan? We want to go to Europe at some point. How are we going to do that? Do you guys plan how you would come more into the market, into people's eyes? Like, oh, let's do more Instagram, or let's do more choreographies, or let's do more competitions, or let's do more beautiful demos, or what was your process?
I love this question. I love it. As I danced a long time, all the time I ask myself, oh, why I need to do to grow, to arrive in this moment, you know, to be this teacher, to be in the scene all the time. And then the first thing is go out Sunset Camps. Yes, find another challenges by myself because as teacher, I'm already actually won Sunset Campus, and the high point. So the first thing that I thought was I will ask to the teachers that already arrived in this point. And then they told me, so we need to sell 4 things. The first point is a beautiful dance. And then I would like to talk about this later. A good dance, a good class, a good social, and a good press. Because for me, if you are only a good teacher, it's hard to arrive in this moment. If you are a good dancer, it's hard to arrive at this point too. So for me, not the good teachers are in this scenario. Not only this, you need to put this together and so. And then all the time I ask myself, oh, but I'm not this dancer that I dance so beautiful, so performatic. I prefer, and then I put all my energy, not all, but a big part of this energy in create a good methodology, be a good teacher, actually be a good social dancer, not performatic dancer, but we need to change something. I don't like to participate in championship. I not like to dance in these kind of things, but me and Cibele,
I think Cibele might have to continue that.
I think was
Cibele, he was giving you the turn to speak.
Yeah, actually, about competition, I think Pedro will talk. We need to be on the screen, for everyone to see. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, for example, Jack and Jill, competitions in general, classes, events, congress, we need to be on that places so people can see us and see our dance. Starting from this point, they really get to know us, like on Instagram or talking with us. So the first step is to be on these places, Otherwise, no one will see you. No one will search for your name. Like, oh, suddenly, who is Pedro Cibele, So it's important. Even Pedro doesn't like competition, but he is always there because we like to show our face like, hello, this is Pedro, this is Cibele. And when we win something, as we won the ICC World Championship, was a big surprise for us. And we have won the feeling like the winning, okay, let's go to the competition, because there were a lot of performatic dancers, like our friends, everyone was there, like Kevin Basilio, Vicky Allen, everyone was there, Mayari Dennis from Geração 3D. And then, okay, let's show our work, let's show our dance. It doesn't matter if you won or not, if you win the competition or not, just let's show our work there on stage. And we did it and we made it. We won the competition. So for us was to have the feedbacks of people there after we went downstairs out of the stage, and everyone was like, oh my God, your dance so good, was like very emotional for me. And to watch you dancing lambada, so creamy, So for us, the feedback is more important in this time because we really show our work there, our dance. We don't have a performatic dance like annuals and all this stuff, but acrobatics, things. But we have our own kind of dance that we like and we believe a lot. That is something with accessibility. And I think Pedro can continue now.
Sorry, I don't know that's happening.
But I think it's important to be on the places so everyone can see you, can see your work. We start going to BDF last year, our first event. And after our class, a lot of people come to talk about the class and everything. And we start doing one private. And this person talk about us, share to another friend that was there. And this one, another one, took a private with us and tell to another student and another one and another one. So our first time in BDF, we did like 9 privates, I think. Yeah. Our first time abroad, and was like, what? There's a lot of amazing teachers here. Why with us the private, So we start believing that our work is really something that worth it. And this is something important that I want to ask you guys, if you want to answer too. When the key change, like the mindset change to I deserve it or I'm good enough, and to do it. Sometimes for me, we're like, okay, I'm good. I know that I teach well. I know that the students gave the feedback and everything, but am I enough to doing this work? Am I this person that everyone says to me that I am, like a great dancer, a great teacher, a great person? You know, sometimes I question myself because there's a point that we want to achieve. And I don't know, but I never thought that I was here already. I was always like here and never here. And once I start to believing that I'm already here and continuing to be humble, that it's very important, it changed my mindset. So yes, I study a lot. I put a lot of effort on it. So yes, that is the result because I put everything of myself, the energy, the effort to achieve this. So yes, I'm here right now. I accept it. So for us to win the competition, to have this tour around the world right now, is something that we work it, something that we put energy and effort in it. So believe in yourself, put your face on the places where, like everywhere, competitions, congress, during the class dance, talking up with the student. And oh my God, you dance so well. Yes, I'm a teacher, you know. So or at 2 p.m. you have a class with us, like a group class. So we do this work too. When we go to the congress, when we are not doing privates, we try to participate to the other teachers' classes because then we have contact with the student and the student like to dance with us and ask for privates or ask for informations. And yes, tomorrow we have a class, you can join us. Be a good person, as Pedro told us before. Like, it's not just a great dancer, a great teacher. You have to be a great person to talk to people, to be kind. So everyone knows your name, not because you're a teacher, because you're a person that was there in touch with them in congress, socials, competitions, and everything. I think that's it.
Absolutely. So we have a lot to continue talking about and especially answer your question. But right now, let's take a break. And for those of you who are listening now, please tune in on the next episode for the part 2 of this conversation. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back on the next episode. See you there.